Hi everyone, welcome back to the Book Cave with me, Jenny. So today I have a single book spoilerly vlog, and that is Blood Over Brighthaven by M.L. Wang. And I've been interested in this for quite a while. I wasn't at first, and then I heard the description and became very interested in it. So the description is, for 20 years, Sionia has devoted every waking moment to the study of magic, fueled by a desire to achieve the impossible, to be the first woman ever admitted to the High Magistracy at the University of Magics and Industry. When Sionia finally passes the qualifying exams and becomes a High Mage, she finds her challenges have just begun. Her new colleagues are determined to make her feel unwelcome, and instead of a qualified lab assistant, they give her a janitor. What neither Sionia nor her peers realize is that her assistant was not always a janitor. 10 years ago, he was a nomadic hunter who lost his family on their perilous journey from the wild plains to the city. But now he sees the opportunity to understand the forces that decimated his tribe, drove him from his homeland, and keep the privileged in power. At first, a mage and outsider have a fractious relationship, but working together they uncover an ancient secret that could change the course of magic forever if it doesn't get them killed first. And this has this little map of the city here. I always love a book with a map. And yeah, like I said, I've just been interested in this for a while, and I know it was very popular, so I figured a spoilerly vlog would be the way to go. And I will try to say at the beginning of each clip how far I am, like what chapter. That way, if you haven't read it or are currently reading it, you can kind of pause and come back, or like click off later. And I will, at the very end, do a non-spoilerly review. So I thought I'd give you all a little update on Blood Over Brighthaven. So between when I recorded the first little bit and through work, I have made it to chapter 4, and I have to say that first chapter with, I can't remember names, with Thamil, I'm not sure how you'd say that. That first chapter with him, like, holy cow, there was a lot going on there, and, like, yeah, that was really sad, and, like, yeah. So, I'm really interested to learn, like, what exactly is the Blight? What exactly is this, like, force field? I do have some theories about some things. But yeah, and then we immediately drop into Siona's story, and she has been trying to study to become a mage, and basically only one woman every 10 years is allowed to take this test to become a high mage, and it is now that time, and she has managed to make her way to be the top contender there. And we kind of go through that and see what that entails. And I'm assuming that now that I've reached the end of her assessment, that her and Thamil are going to come together and the rest of the plot is going to start happening. I do feel like this is one that kind of straddles the line between fantasy and sci-fi, because even though it is magic and called as such, there's a lot of technology with it. Like this thing here that looks like a typewriter is actually a spellcaster, and it's like used to find energy from this other world. Yeah, I was a little confused on that, but it sounds like they basically have to type on this thing, tell it what they want the spell to do, then they have to tell it where to find the energy for that spell. And so it definitely does have a little bit more of like sciencey part in it, even though it is still kind of like abstract. Although the way I look at it too is like that energy and stuff that they're tapping into, maybe it's like dark energy or something. So yeah, definitely has very strong sci-fi undertones, which I really wasn't expecting. I was thinking this was going to be more of just like a dark academia with a little bit of fantasy undertones, but so far it's not so much dark academia, very much fantasy, very much like scientific method towards the magic. So yeah, definitely finding it interesting. And I actually didn't have a whole lot of time to read, but was still able to get through those first 3 chapters, which is almost 60 pages, and that was less than an hour. So I feel like this is going to be a very quick read for me. And yeah, definitely intrigued. I'm on chapter 8, page 132, and I'm still very confused about how exactly the spellographs work, but I do find it rather interesting how apparently different types have different properties. Like, she says one of them, the keys are in a different place. One of them, this viewing window, I guess you would call it, is bigger. And so, yeah, I find that really interesting, and I'm interested to see how that comes into play. Also, the whole, like, forbidden coordinates and all that, and Tamil's question of how do you know he was using forbidden magic and not just regular magic in a forbidden way, brings up a lot of kind of thought processes that I need more information to know where to go. And I really do love like how Sionia, although she's very impatient with most people, is actually quite a good teacher to Tamil and seems to be able to explain things to him and not get short-tempered with him or anything. And then, the whole thing about curses and all that. Yeah, this is just really, really interesting and really, really confusing right now. And I have no idea where it's going to go, but I'm really hoping that we get more of the magic in it, because that is absolutely fascinating. I'm on chapter 8, page... I just finished chapter 12, and holy cow, that reveal in chapter 11, like, I kind of suspected that that there was something to do with the blight, to do with the city, but like that confirmation, holy cow, that was crazy. And I love that we get to see both Tamil's reaction and Sionia's, and I'm really curious as to where this will go from here, because I feel like they can either come back together or they'll just be drawn further and further apart. And yeah, I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen. I do feel like Sionia is not going to stand for this. Like, she stands so much for truth and justice and everything that, like, I don't see her just being okay with this. And, like, she's obviously not. So, yeah, super excited to finish the last half of this and just kind of see where everything goes. And especially being this is a standalone, I feel like we have a lot of ground to cover yet. There is one quote from Sionia in here that I wanted to share, as I feel like it kind of envelopes the whole theme of this book. And she says, I respect real innovation, not theft. Tierish magic came from stolen texts, and everything since has operated on stolen life force. What piece of this is really ours? What piece of greatness can we really claim? And yeah, I just feel like that kind of embodies who she is at her core and who she is striving to become, and just her whole anger with this system. And yeah, as I've said like a million times, I love this book. So I finished Blood Over Brighthaven, and wow, that ending was something. I feel like, though, it was kind of realistic in this type of world, in everything that has happened here. I do feel like that was very realistic, and it did still leave us with a lot of hope. But, like, wow. But my dog just ran in with a bottle cap. But yeah, that was definitely interesting. I liked that none of the characters were perfect. They all had flaws, but they were also all trying to be better. And yeah, just, this was a very good book. And I really do, like, I can highly recommend it, but I do have to say, like, you can't necessarily want a, like, perfect happy ending. It is an ending that leaves you with hope, but yeah, that's about it. I do have to say one thing, though, and this is a major, major spoiler. I am very mad that Sionia died. Like, that just, gah. I understand it kind of had to happen in the trajectory of this story, and it wasn't for no reason. But still, like, why? I really, really grew to like her. Like, even though she wasn't, like I said, a perfect character, just, yeah. My one critique about this is, you know, I read the little supplemental thing in the back that was it's called A Beginner's Pocket Guide to a Magical Terminology, and it, like, explains what different things are. However, they brought up more questions about the world. You know, we have the spellograph, which has these little runes and everything. You source the energy here, and, like, okay. However, what I want to know is they're talking about there's special paper to activate the spells. There's, like, all sorts of stuff. And I feel like none of it's truly explained. Like, especially when, if you go back, they didn't have to be written on special paper. And, like, yeah, I'm so curious about that. I would love to see, like, maybe a history book from this world or something, or, like, a true history, just a little bit to, like, learn more about that stuff. And yeah, obviously this is one that will stick with me for a while. But yeah, this will end the spoilery part. And now I'll go ahead and do the non-spoiler. So, Blood Over Brighthaven is a really, really good book. I feel like this was written very well. All the characters felt very real. And there was definitely a sense of urgency as we got further into the book. I do feel like this read very quickly, if not easily, due to the subject matter. But yeah, I really liked this. I can definitely recommend it. However, you have to be prepared for things to not be happy, for sure. this does tackle some very heavy topics, and then it does touch on some other more heavy topics. So, I do recommend, if you have triggers, to do a little bit of a search and check it out to see if it was something you would want to read that, would not bother you overly much. But yes, so I gave this 4 stars because it's not perfect, but it is very good, and I can overlook a lot of the imperfections. So that's everything I have for you today. Thank you as always for joining me here in the book cave, and I hope you enjoyed my little bit of a rambly video about this book. And if you liked this video, please don't forget to hit the like button and that subscribe button, and you'll be notified every time I post a new video. And I will have my socials linked on the little end screen, and I will see you next time in the book cave.